If you bought a home a few years ago, you could have $50, $100, maybe even $300,000 or more just sitting there in equity. But if it's not doing anything for you or building you wealth, then you've got a major problem. You have what I call trapped money. In this video today, I'm going to talk about what you can do with that money so that way it's not just sitting there collecting dust as the market continues to move on without your involvement. Whether you're looking to reinvest, upgrade, build equity, gain cash flow, or create generational wealth, keep listening. I'm Cal Connect, a real estate broker and accredited investor who is consistently helping people in your situation. I have helped hundreds of clients over the years who have the same problem that you do, that your equity and money is trapped in a property and you need answers about how you can use that to build more wealth. Let's talk about equity real quick. So, if you bought a house for $100,000, just to make numbers nice and easy to work with, but you've lived there for a few years, over time, this house has gone up with inflation and other comparable property sales. So 5 years later, let's say your house is now worth $150,000. Well, that differential of $50,000 that you have in your home, this is your equity. Home prices have absolutely skyrocketed over the last several years. And because of that, this means a lot of people are sitting on a massive fortune that they might not even be aware of. In addition, the biggest problem that they have is that this equity that you have sitting in your home is doing literally nothing for you. The sad thing is, most people are absolutely wasting this opportunity. A lot of them are sitting on the equity doing absolutely nothing with their newfound wealth. Or the other side of the coin is they're doing something that you should never do. They are buying not assets, which is what you need to be doing, but buying things that depreciate the second you purchase them. Think of things like cars, boats, trucks, new designer handbags if you don't buy the right ones and keep them hermetically sealed. They're going out and they're funding big words, their lifestyle, plain and simple. And while I understand we all want to be comfortable and enjoy things, these are absolute landmines when you are dealing with utilizing your home equity. This is your opportunity to utilize your nest egg to grow it and be more comfortable in retirement, your golden years, and be able to pass on a legacy. So what are your options? Number one, you can always upgrade. Now, there's a lot of individuals in America right now who have a lot of equity in their home, and they purchased a home back when they may have had a completely different lifestyle. Maybe they just got married. Maybe they didn't have any pets. Maybe they were looking to retire in the next 3 to 5 years. And now we have a lot of Americans who are in one of two situations. Either they need more space because they've had more children or more dogs or cats, or they've expanded and their business is growing. Or on the other hand, they've had another life event where they now need to downsize. Think baby boomers who now are empty nesters and likely don't have anybody else in the house. So given that, that could be your chance to upgrade or switch what you have as your current home into something that is more feasible for you while utilizing your equity in order to make those monthly payments more comfortable. And if you're thinking about upgrading and you say, but Cal, the interest rates are so high right now. I hear you, but look at this. We did another video on this, but real quick, the math says if you were to purchase a $350,000 house at a 7% interest rate, which is not uncommon to see right now, your monthly payment, depending on what your taxes and insurance are, is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of approximately $2,300 per month, okay? But if you were to wait a year, 2 years for when the interest rates come down to, I don't know, say 5%, what's going to end up happening is you're still going to be paying approximately $2,300 a month because the house now costs $400,000 at that point in time because of supply and demand. This right here means that yes, you have a similar monthly payment, affordability-wise, per month it's basically the same for you. But you just paid $50,000 more for a house because you waited. And I'm not here to say date the rate, marry the house type of deal. That's not my thing. But what I will say is that you can always refinance a loan, and rates also might keep going up, but you can never refinance the purchase price. Your only other options at that point are to hold it, rent it, or sell it. Second, you can invest or reinvest the funds. You can do this through a couple of things. The first thing is a HELOC. This is a home equity line of credit. You can get it through a local bank or your mortgage lender. And this is something that allows you to take the funds that you have sitting and doing absolutely nothing in your house and reinvest them into a business venture, stocks, more real estate, turning something else into a short-term or long-term rental that you acquire. There's a lot of opportunities you have here. You also could utilize something called a cash-out refi. Now, it depends on what your interest rate is on your current home, but what this essentially is a different mortgage product where you are taking the equity that you have in your home out up to a certain percentage, and you are changing how the structure of your mortgage is paid, what your monthly payment is, and the timeline. So this actually could be beneficial for you depending on what your situation is financially. The third thing you could do is you could house hack. You could take the equity out and buy a quadplex or a triplex or a duplex even, live in one of those units by selling your house, paying for that, and having your tenants pay you cash every single month while your property continues to appreciate in value. The next thing you could do is you can also eliminate bad debt. Now, if you're tracking good versus bad debt from our previous video, this is a great opportunity for you to borrow money against your asset at a much lower interest rate than what your credit cards are. Most people borrowing against their homes at this point in time are looking at 6 to 8% interest rates versus somebody who's borrowing against a credit card with a 20 to a 30%, if not higher, interest rate. So this could be a really good way for you to consolidate some debt while having a fixed monthly payment. That all sounds great, and this sounds like a great way for you to buy more real estate, but there are also times where touching this equity may not be in your best interest. For example, if your income is unstable or inconsistent, or if you're in a business where you're going to have very high highs, but also some months are going to be very, very low, then you may want to keep the money that you have in your primary investment vehicle, which is your home. Also, you don't want to over leverage yourself. You really need to make sure that you have cash reserves on hand. That way you can weather any rainy day or storm that may show up on the horizon unexpectedly. Third, you also do not want to be this guy or this gal right here financing liabilities instead of financing assets. I have no issue if you're taking the money out to buy investment properties that are going to pay you in the future as long as the math works. However, if you are out here buying boats, buying cars, and just utilizing the money however you see fit for your lifestyle, well, I would anticipate that you're likely not going to hold on to a whole heck of a lot of that money over time because there is no ROI on buying a boat that is not going to make you any funds unless you are starting a fishing charter business or something of that nature. If you're sitting on a fortune like most of America right now, let's talk and we can analyze how we can best utilize the amount of money that you have that is doing absolutely nothing for you in your home. You worked really hard to build this equity in your home. Now, don't let this opportunity pass you by and capitalize on it before it's too late.